Hey everybody, Micah with Coronavirus Diaries. Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2020. Made it through another weekend and it's not getting any better. No way to sugarcoat it. This is a public service announcement. If you haven't been paying attention to what's going on, number one, there is a severe blood shortage in the U.S. And the reason that this is important is it's applicable to everybody, including those of you that thought it was in your infinite wisdom to go party on a beach or tie up all your boats and like have a big, huge little festival together. If you're so unconcerned with the potential of COVID to yourself, consider that you may be somebody that ends up needing blood in some capacity. So if you don't believe like it's that big of a issue, put yourself to use and actually do something for your community. Go out there and donate some blood. It's going to be really important here in the near future. Surgeon General just announced that in the next week it's going to escalate significantly. And if you haven't been paying attention to what's coming out overseas, all you got to do is pay attention to the math. This shit is scary. And if you don't adhere to the rules that are being pushed out, it's only going to get worse. Moving on. The healthcare industry. Right now, there is, again, shortages all over the place on personal protective equipment, or otherwise referred to as PPE. There's some awesome people that I've talked to that are part of a DIY community, the builder community. They're like using their 3D printers to print pieces for respirators and things that are in a shortage. But beyond that, if there's sewing, I've been hearing about being able to sew masks. There is some confusion or some concern over the cloth being wet and on the face, and like the potential fallout of that has yet to be seen. But there's two big things, very, very big things right there. Blood shortages, that will impact everyone at some point in time. And then the personal protective equipment. And the reason the personal protective equipment, if you can't figure it out yourself, if we don't keep our healthcare workers safe and protected, they have to isolate. If they get it, they isolate, and then our healthcare workers start to dwindle. And it's a matter of you look at what's happening in Italy. They had people from Cuba are going out there. There's people from other countries that are having to get imported to other countries in order to help fight what's going on. So this is a very, very slippery slope. You start slipping on this, good luck catching up, because the exponential rate of infection compiled with the amount of beds and healthcare workers there are that are able to take care of this or manage this, it's a very fine line. So yeah, sure, right now, especially people that are outside of the city, that aren't in these big cities, you're not maybe seeing exactly what's going on. It's real. I was 2.5 hours outside of Minneapolis a week ago, just over a week ago, and I was noticing, you could see it out there too. Went and visited my mom, and it's interesting because you get back down into the cities, and then just in a week, seeing how much, when I saw that line, if you haven't seen it, the video from St. Paul just on Friday, there's a line at a grocery store outside and around the block downtown. So maybe a bunch of people that don't have vehicles or don't want to get on public transport to get out of the city to go do shopping elsewhere. You don't want to be in those lines. It's what it is. So there's the two real big things, is the personal protective gear and the blood. I'll plug some stuff in the links below, but really, check out American Red Cross. They'll have blood donation locations where you can go and give blood, and apparently they're saying that they have taken necessary precautions in order to make it as safe as possible and to make it so that anybody that's able to go out and give is taken care of and protected. So food for thought. Really the last thing, and then this is going to be just a short video. Surgeon General, 1 week, this week, it's going to get bad. And the week after that, it's going to get a lot worse. And a lot worse meaning you people that are still denying this, you're not going to be able to deny it anymore. And by then, too late. You're going to become a strain on the system more than the people that are panic buying right now and doing all that. And there ain't anybody that's going to be, can't stay stupid. So it's what it is. If you can't look at the math alone, if you can't look at that and tell me that it's not alarming, then nothing's going to save you, man. And that's the reality. You talk to anybody that's prior service or law enforcement, and I'll tell you what, man, there's levels to this, and there's different levels of preparedness and different levels of mindset. And the ones that are going into this with the mindset that it's going to be all okay and nothing to worry about, there's a very high likelihood that y'all are going to get chewed up. And yeah, it is what it is. So the thing that I think is really going to be impacting society based on accountability. And what I'm talking about with this is that all these people that thought in their infinite wisdom it was cool to go out, partied up on beaches and have these COVID-19 parties and whatever this bullshit was. Well, from the talk that I had with them girls from the University of Minnesota campus the other day, they said everybody went on spring break and then went home. Now just think about this, right? It's a 2-week incubation period. So that was a week ago. So starting this weekend, we're going to start seeing a surge locally in Minnesota. And then in a week from now, it's going to be terrifying because the numbers are going to keep climbing, right? So everybody that went and did that and thought it was like funny and cute and all that, you might have been the one that infected your loved ones, your parents, maybe they infected your grandparents. You might be the one that caused some damage in your community. And accountability, if people had their own sense of self-accountability, how their actions impact those around them, I think it could be a lot different scenario. In Italy, you can find it online, go check it out. It sounds like what they're doing is if people have been diagnosed with COVID-19 and then they're found out in public, they're getting charged with murder. And I, for one, put in my vote. So those of you that are running around thinking it's funny, believe it. I hope it comes down to that, because that's what this country needs, is a little bit of accountability. It would change a lot of things. So I don't know. I'm going to cap this. There's a couple of interviews that I did over starting last Friday with a personal trainer who shares some really great advice on being in lockdown, potentially shelter in place, which means these videos, I'm trying to get out and get some fresh air. Might end pretty quick. Also did an interview with a security specialist. This dude is no joke, former Marine, private security specialist, worked in high threat environments. The dude's on point, has his own security business. And then also spoke with a doctor in psychology. There's going to be a psychological element to this that impacts everybody on some scale, and it was really interesting to hear his thoughts. And a lot of these dudes, or those three in particular, I'm trying to make it a regular thing. If we get enough interaction, we're going to start doing live sessions where people can ask their own questions, whether it's on physical fitness or security or psychology. I think it would be really cool. Trying to do something for the community, but what's cool is that it can be global. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you appreciate the content that's coming out, let's make it happen. With that, I'm done, and stick around. Come back at you later. Peace.